Hello and welcome back to The Wrong Podcast, the show where we watch and review every movie in Lifetime's The Wrong series. I'm Claudia,
I'm Jory.
and today we are talking about The Wrong Cheerleader 2019, directed as always by David Dakota, and written again by Adam Rockoff. Jory, what did you think of The Wrong Cheerleader?
This was an interesting one. It felt like this is where we should have started, if that makes sense. Like this feels like the Lifetime movie. Like what you get when you imagine a Lifetime movie, the kind of subject matter and everything. The way it's handled. There's some like sensationalist, goofy kind of stuff that we have had in the previous ones, but baseline, this seems like a movie to bring awareness to like a Lifetime mom that even though things might seem okay with their daughter and her new boyfriend, they could be worse than you thought.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think that's a good point. I'm going to be honest, I think that this might be my favorite one so far.
Oh.
I liked that it was surprisingly more grounded than a lot
Yeah.
of the other ones. I thought this was overall one of the worst acted in the entire series.
I agree, especially for our wrong, even though that doesn't apply really in this movie for the title, but the
Yeah.
bad guy, especially him, he was something.
it was there were certainly some performances in this film. Yeah, I don't know. I had a good time with this one, and I thought that they were kind of cooking with this one a little bit.
I agree.
Jory, what predictions did you have for The Wrong Cheerleader?
All right, so I had a couple. One of them I got right, which Vivica's the cheerleading coach.
Yep.
Which I feel
Nailed
like
it.
that's like an easy one. Sort of right with this. I thought that the wrong would be like a jealous ex from a different school. Like and everything has felt like pretty insular, but in these movies when it comes to where the people are. But I thought this might be the time they branch out into like, I don't know, California, and where they're at's kind of a big area. It's not that crazy to think that they'd, especially the age of the internet. This is 2019, I believe, when this one came
Mm-hmm.
out. Like they could meet through Twitter or Facebook or something and find someone who goes to a nearby school that they could date, and like after a breakup or something, he'd move and make everyone think that he's a good guy when maybe she knows that he's a bad guy or something. And then this one was kind of a long toss. I thought maybe a male cheerleader for either gay panic or the opposite end to show diversity that that are male cheerleaders. Even though I feel like having a male cheerleader as gay panic stuff in the last decade might be a bit gauche, but I
Especially with a
think
gay director.
yeah. But I do think that it could still be in there, or maybe it has just like they wouldn't do it outright in the movie, but it would still instill that feeling with someone who might be too heteronormative. Even though,
Mm.
again, I think once you get into like after high school, all the even in like a lot of high schools now, you're gonna have men on the team, but especially in college, you gotta have men on the team for some of the like athletics and stuff for the size of the women that usually are in cheerleading and stuff too.
Yeah, full-grown
You need some
adults.
of the more like grounded size people on the ground. You want the like 6'2" buff athletic guy.
Yeah.
Oh, what did you have?
My predictions, I went a little more broad and kind of plot specific here, just kind of based on the last few movies here. I thought that we were going to have a solo wrong. The motive was going to be obsession, because in my mind I was like, the wrong cheerleader, there is no way on earth that the motive is money, because those are the only two motives in these movies. It's either
Yeah.
money or it's obsession. And I was like, the only thing that I could maybe think of for money is like a trust fund kind of situation. But even that felt kind of far-fetched. I thought that there would be no deaths in this one. I took a stab in the dark with that
Ooh.
one. And I felt that there would be a scene where someone was purposefully dropped during a cheer performance.
Ooh, that would be a good one.
Yeah, instead there really was very little cheering in this.
Yeah, it to the point to where they didn't even need to have like a cheerleader thing. Honestly,
Yeah, huge agree. This is like the wrong. We haven't had the wrong boyfriend yet.
that's true.
I know
Yeah.
that it's because they want to say you messed with the wrong cheerleader, but like
Yeah.
I kind of felt it didn't work when they did it for the wrong teacher, and I kind of, I mean, I'm not gonna say it didn't work here, but you know, would you like to get into it, Jory?
Yeah. So we start off the movie with a girl sitting by a pool at the house. You
Yep,
know, the
that
one
house.
that we've seen in all of them. The that you sent. You found the address for, which I think is very fun. Uh,
Yeah. Sadly, no Zillow pictures.
so I my girlfriend looked it up after that, and we noticed that the house was listed for sale in like 2011 and then taken down
Huh.
a couple months later, but it has not been like listed, or it doesn't say it was purchased. And I wonder what's going on with it. Maybe they just like rent it out for movie shoots or something.
That's what I have to assume, right? Like it's not for sale, but nobody's living in it. They're just renting it out to David Dakota.
Maybe it's a maybe it's like an Arrested Development type thing, how they're in the like show house. It's just kind of like that,
Yeah.
but for movies. And
Yeah.
instead of and maybe it's like a contractor who, instead of showing them like a run through the house, they just show them movies that were shot in the house. But
I'm sold.
got a girl by a pool, and she's texting a friend about, oh man, I'm so glad I broke up with that guy. And her friend's going, yeah, that guy sucked. I'm so glad you dumped him too. And we just get cut to tense scenes of her like going through the house and back to like a hooded figure following her around. To which, when she like hears a noise and runs to a room and then hides under the bed for just so that basically so they can replicate the Taken shot, but
Mm.
her hiding under the bed also seems like a bad idea. One, because they're gonna look under the bed. Two, there's a big mirror that you could easily see if anyone was under there from.
Very
But
true.
we get the tense. Oh no, is he gone? And she's looking around, and then she gets like dragged out from under the bed. And then we get
And
our
we,
title card.
love that. I like when they Okay, so like here's the thing for me. Like I kind of think that this cold open kind of ruins the entire movie, but also I do love a wrong movie cold open.
Yeah. At least they didn't show his face or anything here.
Yeah.
Thinking about the opening to The Wrong Stepmother, how that just flat out shows her. Like,
Yeah.
well, you don't see her eyes, but you see her like lower face, and you can easily make out who it is once you see her come in. Besides all the other stuff that these movies do to not hide who the bad guy is, but yeah, this one didn't like show off or anything. We just saw a silhouetted figure. But once we get to way later on, when they're like, yeah, someone who used to date the guy, it's like, oh yeah, we know who it's gonna be.
Yeah. And like that is kind of like a satisfying moment in a way, but also like when we get into it I'll talk about my feelings on why this kind of ruins the entire movie more.
Yeah, then we get a bunch of stock footage of cheerleading, which I did write down about 15 minutes into the movie how much stock footage is used in this movie.
There is so much.
More than usual, I felt.
Yeah, like normally they use a lot of like transitional like
Yeah,
LA highway stock footage or like a restaurant or whatever. But
yeah.
like they were using stuff of like cheerleaders and schools and things. It just felt like every scene they needed to like cram in a bit of stock footage. I mean, you can really tell that this is the fourth Wrong movie that they've released in the last month and a half. Or the fifth, I think. Yeah, the
That sounds
fifth.
right.
And, like, Jory, the next two movies were released on the same day.
Oh, even better. That's appointment television.
That is true. Sit down for 3 hours and watch a Wrong movie.
That's probably around 4.5 when you factor in commercial breaks.
Ah, true. Damn.
But after the stock footage of cheerleading in school, we're introduced to our lead, whose name I can't remember already. And
Her name is Becky.
Becky, and her best friend Jen?
Yes.
Yes.
Also, my obligatory Degrassi mention, because our main girl, she was Imogen in Degrassi. I haven't really seen much of her era yet. I'm slowly working through Degrassi. Always lovely to see a Degrassi actor, and always lovely to see to see them in this after school special of a film.
Yeah. It's very like connected there, and to add on to that, it's nice to see her as a Degrassi actress, not just in a Canadian production. Even though I do think it's cool that Canada has that for their arts and stuff, is like you gotta have a lot of it be Canadian and you'll get government funding. It also it does create a thing that I've noticed when watching movies and shows and stuff. Is me, it's like, this is Canadian because these people have been in 5 other Canadian things I've seen.
Yep, exactly.
Like Eugene Levy, I know, does a lot of those.
Yeah. What's funny is that because I don't know this actress by face, I just know that she was in Degrassi. I was like, I'm not sure whether it's the blonde or the brunette who was in Degrassi. And then Becky said something about trying out for cheerleading, and I said, Canadian spotted.
I wish I would have picked up on that, because that's something I noticed immediately. There was someone that I worked with who's like, yeah, I'm Canadian, but you can't really tell by the way I talk. And I I heard you say sorry like 5 minutes ago.
Yep.
Shut the fuck up.
Sorry is my favorite one.
But they're in the locker room having shit. She's like, yeah, you gotta try out for being the cheerleader. You can't just worry about those books all the time. The way the first bit is kind of set up feels like the blonde is going to be the lead, Jen.
Yeah.
Just because she's the one who's left alone in the locker room when she thinks she hears someone in there, because I think the bad guy is in there. But Vivica, she's like, hey, there's someone in there. Can you go check? And Vivica, who's the cheerleading coach, runs in with a pepper spray at the ready and sets up Chekhov's pepper spray, which is, you guys got to make sure you have one of these too.
Which, like, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
I do agree.
You should. But also, can I say, I was fucking stoked that one of the girls was like, oh, it's nothing. I thought I saw somebody in the locker room. And Vivica was like, you saw somebody in the locker room? Like,
yeah,
watching you change or something? And goes in there. I'm like, holy shit, somebody taking a student seriously.
Yeah, taking a teenage girl seriously, even.
Yeah. Also, there is like an evil music sting at the same time that directed by David Dakota comes up.
that can't be coincidental, right? Like that's
no, that has to be a little joke for them.
Yeah, she's and then Vivica also gets introduced to Becky, and they just have a thing of like, oh, you're gonna try out. I haven't like seen you before, and kind of which I was kind of surprised at the I still don't really get what was going on with her trying out for cheerleading, besides to be the like driving force of the movie, because it just seemed like she'd always been like a bookish type, and they kind of established that with them being friends for a long time later, but it never felt like she was their like friendship was her bringing her out of her shell or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's like kind of implied and I miss it, but it just feels kind of like a thing that's put there to move the movie along instead of like enhanced by the other surrounding details about their friendship.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fill in the blank about their backstory that,
Yeah.
that it's like I guess it doesn't matter, but it does raise a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Is it like a, extroverts go around collecting introverts as their friends, or is it like
Yeah.
you were both nerds and then one of you got cool and hot? Like, what's the deal?
I did like that we cut from this to more stock footage of people practicing like cheerleading stuff outdoors. Cut to indoor tryouts.
For some reason I didn't fully process that it was stock footage for a minute, even though it does not at all look like how Dave Dakota shoots movies usually. But when it went from outside to inside, I was like, oh, okay. Startled me.
We see Jen in like a brandless cheer uniform, which I find these brandless cheer uniforms so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Of course they would, because it's cheaper and you can reuse them first. You can use them in the Wrong Cheerleader, but then also use them in Cheerleader Murder House 4 that you're making in a week. So it works out. And I wrote down a line from when they're talking about being friends, because they're just like encouraging stuff. It's like, oh man, I believe in you. You were the only one who talked to me like when I had a lisp from a broken retainer and knew at the school. And then I knew you were a friend when Dan Lewis called me a fatty and you punched him in the face.
Yeah. I like when they attempt to give them some history.
Oh yeah, it's those things that especially you can relate to. Of like, yeah, just that's the kind of stuff that kids become friends over. Just very like basic stuff, and you have those moments. It's nice, and we follow that up with an awkward like tryout scene, which
I loved it.
Almost feels like tongue in cheek. Like they know, and the part
it's definitely
that,
a joke.
The part that really lays it in for me is when the music starts playing. And it's very clearly a track dragged into Adobe Premiere, but then Vivica says to stop the music, and it just cuts, which is incredibly funny.
Yeah. For some reason, they stop the music before Becky auditions.
Yeah.
And then Vivica's really intense about like you joining the cheerleading team. And it's like, is this a cult?
Yeah. Because she doesn't have like a monologue before anyone else tries out, which a couple of them just do kind of like super basic or awkward movements, which was probably more difficult and more awkward because they definitely didn't have music playing on set, so they just had to dance in silence. And the one I was wondering about was the girl before Becky was like, I practice with a private coach, and then did like a dance routine. Like, I wonder if she just knew how to do that, so they told her, hey, do that thing that you showed us you knew how to do in your audition, and we'll give you like an extra $50 for doing the movie or something like that.
I was saying like, wow, she got Bob Fosse to be her cheerleading coach. Pog.
Yeah, Becky does a good job of doing the basic cheerleader stuff, and I didn't have any doubt that she was gonna get the spot on the team. And we cut to her home where she's talking to her mom, and her mom is the mom from The Wrong Crush, I believe.
Yes. This film was also kind of a not a who's who exactly of Wrong movies, but there were so many scenes where I pointed at the screen and I said, that is the therapist set from The Wrong Stepmother. Yeah. That is the house that they always use. That is Alan Seifer's room. I will point those out as we go. But yeah, the mom from The Wrong Crush is back. And at this point, I was like, because she was really getting on this girl about like, you shouldn't be joining the cheerleading team because like it's your senior year, and like you can't have your grades slip before college. You can't have like an extracurricular activity. What are colleges gonna think? Through that, I was like, oh, is it the actress? Is it the actress that I hate? And that's maybe the mom wasn't as comically evil as I thought, but this actress elevated the text. She gets better though.
Yeah, I
So
think
my
part of it that I noticed is she's got like icy blue eyes that do make, especially
yes,
one that's like focused on her, that make her just seem like more cold, like she's just staring into your soul.
and razor sharp cheekbones.
Oh yeah. Yeah, then after just being like, hey, you can't let it interrupt your studies, we the next, I'm assuming next day at school, they're lined up to look at this chart that has all their names, except it's in a big enough font and spaced out enough that they don't need to be waiting in line. You can see,
Yeah, no.
like way back, and just like see all the people just go up and they're excited and they walk away dejected, and she sees and gets on there, and her friend says that she's on the committee. Of course you'd get in there, which I don't know, that's not fair to the other girls if you're gonna guarantee your friend a spot. After Fred like walks away, we get right before the tryouts, we do see him in a hood watching them, and I wrote down, this man is like 35 because he does not look like a high schooler whatsoever.
Okay. So I got a bone to pick with that because in all of the reviews that I looked at, so many people said like this man is 37. Like so many said like between 35 and 37. I don't know why. I don't think this guy looks that old. I think he looks like he's 28. But like nearly 40 doesn't quite track for me personally. Maybe I'm just a little age blind. But man, it's something about seeing that over and over and being like, what is wrong with this guy? Like,
that's fair. I think I jumped to that because he definitely does not look like a high schooler.
yeah, I can agree with that. I do think he looks older than his character, but I'm like, there is no way that man is older than me.
And then he introduces himself, and from the jump, like not even if these movies like if I was watching this as an isolated movie and we also did not have that opening scene or him watching the tryouts with a hood up, I would know the vibes are off. The way this man holds his jaw and lips, it's he must have done modeling or something before, and it's like a habit that he can't get over, or he's like an Instagram guy and he just makes that face for Instagram. Couldn't find much on this guy, which kind of disappointed me. I like seeing what these people are up to, but and then he has a specific way that he talks that really stands out, and it also makes a part of the movie towards the end feel unbelievable, because she should have known there's only one man in the world that talks like this.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. He, pointing at the screen, bad guy, bad guy, bad guy. He's the bad guy. The second they show him in the evil hoodie, and then he speaks like a villain.
Yeah.
Like, I think if they had cast a different actor, it would have been like a little bit stronger of a. And okay, so like, no, I'll get into it later.
Fair.
It's not the right time.
But yeah, he just has like a wild way of talking. He's like, yeah, a girl that happy had to have made the team. And it's like, yeah, I'll see you around. I just moved here. I might be on the football team. And they go to a pizza place, which I like that it's a recurring spot in this movie that comes up more. And I like too that this evening pizza place after school has like a kind of a club vibe to it, just by how like social it is, and people, it's very like 80s and 90s like teen sitcom / sort of drama type thing of like, it's the cool hangout spot that I don't know if they ever really existed like this, Not
Yeah,
because I was
it's
a loser at home playing video games instead of going out with friends. I just choose to believe they didn't exist ever.
yeah, of course. No, we were both cool. We were we were out making out with girls or whatever. We
Absolutely.
were yeah, but it's very the bronze, I guess, minus the club vibe, like the nightclub vibe specifically. But like I do definitely get it's the place where the teens go. It's our monks diner.
And they're at here, like they're eating pizza, which looks dreadfully cold. I notice that every time they have food, it looks like it's been sitting out for a while, not warmed up.
Yeah.
Also because I've looked at a lot of hot pizza in my life, so I know what it looks. We see that Jen's boyfriend sits in there with what is the bad guy's name? I assume
His
you
name
have
is
it written down.
Rob Brous.
Rob, yes. So they both sit down in there. Jen's boyfriend hops in, and around this, once I saw these guys, I was like, was he in something? He looks familiar. Now, I could not find anything that he was in that I recognized him from. I think he had some bit parts in like other Wrong in Lifetime movies and stuff. But more importantly, he does have recent acting credits. Are you familiar with Drama Box?
No.
So Drama Box is a vertical drama platform. So the episodes are like 1 to 3 minutes, and you get a couple free ones, and then you have to either like pay money or watch a bunch of ads, fill out surveys, those kinds of rackets to get more episodes. And they have just like soap opera level escalation and wild plot twists and character motivations, but it feels even more hypercharged because it's in like a TikTok bite-sized format.
Okay.
They're fascinating.
Are these ones that are like betrayed by my alpha and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's stuff like that. He was in one that was, let me let's see if I can find the page again. Yeah. He was in Baby Wants Her Hockey Daddy.
No, I don't. Baby does not want her hockey daddy.
See, the other thing is, like, I know it's something that people turn to because they're online as a way to be dismissive of, boy, this sure is someone's fetish, whatever. But this does come across like that a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
villains beware, mommy punches hard.
I mean, like, these titles are in part to, like, make you go, like, what the fuck could this be?
Yeah. The wrong twin got me pregnant. After I had the billionaire hobo's baby.
Adam Rockoff, take notes. That's the next wrong.
Finding love after I die.
That one feels like like a Japanese light novel.
Absolutely. Or this one's this kind of lines up with what those are, but from dumped wife to Christmas billionaire.
Oh man, hang on. Maybe I need a subscription to this.
Yeah, these also feel like joke titles that you'd have for like you want to create a Chuck Tingle like thing in your world, but you don't have the wit that Chuck Tingle does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like an aside that when I was losing it seeing that he did those things. I'm fascinated whenever I see clips because they have like low budgets like this, and I imagine it's what a lot of young actors get into doing now instead of cheap movies like these a lot of times because the production times and budgets are probably even lower and quicker.
Yeah, I guess he could do more in a month.
Yeah, he played like some football position for another high school. I should know football because my mom loves football, but now that I'm not. Oh yeah, linebacker. That's what they said. Which he doesn't have the size for linebacker.
No, he does not. That's why I kept thinking.
But yeah, he's missing. It's just him and his dad. So he doesn't have a mom. She brings up that she has a dead dad, big
Of course
surprise
she
because they're
does.
always single families.
Yeah, we gotta start a running total of dead dads specifically. It's so rare that we have a dead mom. I think the only one off the top of my head is the wrong stepmother, and that kind of like is dictated by the plot.
Yeah, I think that might be the only one.
Yeah. Huh. I guess it makes for more women-centric stories.
Yeah, that makes sense. By the time they were like done with this pizza parlor scene, it's like the way this guy talks is just driving me nuts. I don't know what his inflection is. I don't know if it's. I was also wondering if maybe he was like trying to cover up an accent, maybe. Which I don't know if they would bother for this, but maybe something you got a tip from like a casting agent or something. I don't know.
That would make
But
sense.
because he's going to be trying out for the football team, and she's from the area, and she's on the cheerleading team. She's like, I know all the best running trails, which I liked that later they just end up in a tennis court. I don't know if a tennis court is part of a running trail.
Yeah, it may not be part of the running trail, but it definitely is part of that house.
Yeah. Which yeah, them meeting like go for a run and ending at this trail was at this tennis court was fascinating because the way they're talking really feels like they're killing time before they start making out. But the other thing I noticed is they didn't even bother to like spritz them with water to make them look like they were running. Like these people look like they were on a jog or anything. They just look like they changed and then walked out onto the tennis court.
Don't even break a sweat. It's like it's like when I was on spironolactone. She does tell her mom that she made the team, and her mother says, "Wonderful," with that big of a pause. And yeah, Rob kisses her at the tennis court after their workout, and later they go on like a hot date.
Yeah, she's like hanging on him at school. They're like texting for a date, and I liked the from a I was trying to make it funny. From a not weirdo perspective, I liked them in the car there. It's a good way of establishing like how he's earning her trust because like they're making out in the car and stuff, and she's like, no, I can't do more, just not ready, and it just feel weird. He feels like he has so much more experience than me, and he's cool about it. He's like, yeah, totally, yeah. Like, you're the only one that matters here. Like, what you're ready for is what you're ready for. I'm not gonna push anything on you.
And that's the thing. Okay, I feel ready to talk about that cold open now because like obviously he's our bad guy, and it feels like they escalated kind of slowly, which is interesting to me because that is kind of how it goes in real life. It's completely ruined by the fact that we saw a guy in a hoodie, I think we find out later, beat a girl nearly to death. Yeah. Something like that. And later on we see a guy definitely in that same hoodie. The evil Lifetime hoodie. And it's like, well, I know... What is it, a producer thing, or is it actually like the audience, they know that the audience actually does hate to be challenged in any way, to have something be like maybe an actual little bit of a, if not a twist, then like a building of dread or something.
Yeah, it would help, especially like for this one too, for like how it shows like how things would build and everything, and the fact that compared to like the wrong stepmother again, how she not only is she like in the cold open yelling outside of a guy's house, she's also acting weird immediately. So you don't even have like that like 30 minutes or so of before the end of the first act of going, hey, she seems all right. I wonder what's wrong. And then you get the reveal. Here, like he's, if you don't have the opening, like, and you slice this out and had it on its own, that's not part of a big franchise on a network that makes thousands of movies exactly like this, you wouldn't just immediately go, he's like the crazy boyfriend who's obsessive and stalker and violent, or it would, even if you had that, it'd be more of a shock when that turn does happen, because we're seeing him be nice.
Exactly, yeah. He's like a person that you could understand a teenage girl wanting to date. Like, he's giving her... This is Becky's first relationship, too. I think that is important to say, because I think that's important for, like, context of why she... Later on, even when things get bad, she's, like, not willing to let herself believe that things are as bad as they are.
Yeah.
And like, I get it.
And it lines up with, like... the fact that she's like, this is her first time like being more like outward. She's always been studying and knows in a book, and Jen's her friend, but she hasn't been like as involved with like that stuff that she has going on. So it's like a big turnaround, especially for her senior year of high school. She spent the last 3 years seeing everyone else date and everything. She's gonna get like super attached to this guy who seems good. And even like not too long after here, we see the first like, oh, hey, there's something up with this guy moment. He still gets plausible deniability because it is something that is understandable for him to be upset about, even if he does take it a little too far.
Agreed.
So after like the stuff in the car, and he's like, yeah, no, so don't worry about it. You're the one. You're the only one that matters. We don't want to do anything like you're not comfortable with. She like goes home, and her mom immediately notices that she's smiling and is like, that's the only kind of smile that you have from someone else, which thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
My mom would do that, like, why are you smiling at your phone? And then me at 26 go, it's a picture of my friends at their wedding. And she goes, oh. It's like, yeah, I'm too old for you to be doing that. Yeah, he like watches them doing cheerleading, which I love how like how much fun everyone, especially Vivica, looks when they're doing this cheer routine. She's having a blast.
Honestly, I love this scene, and I love that they show it twice.
Yes.
And I love that they do like a slow-mo of it, where like Vivica's like demonstrating a dance move.
Yeah.
It's like, fucking go, Vivica. Honestly. One of my favorite Vivica performances in this film.
Yes, it's really good, even if she doesn't have as much screen time as... And I think from going forward, she probably doesn't have as much screen time as she had in, like, the previous ones, especially The Wrong Cruise. Like, I don't think we can get that level of Vivica performances anymore, which is a bit of a bummer. But hey, maybe I'll be proven wrong, which would be a delight. Maybe. Yeah,
I hope to be pleasantly surprised.
After practice, they head out back to Tony's, the pizza place, because it's cheap. I liked that line. There is a poster there for a movie called Sleigh Bells. Slaybelles. Looked it up. It's not a David Dakota movie, so I was like, I don't care.
Also, real quick, before this scene happens, there is a scene where Rob picks Becky up in his car, and it's like raining.
Oh, yeah.
And I went, is this the first time we've seen weather in 13 films?
I think you're right. It's always been like sunny California. This had to have been a like, we can't shoot around this kind of thing, right?
I guess, yeah. It's so strange to like, it's a weird choice, and it's like just this moment. And honestly, I'm so glad if this was like something where they decided like, fuck it, we'll shoot it anyway. I'm glad they did, because it felt cute.
Yeah. Like he's waiting for her in the rain. And it also helps with it's getting a little bit darker because this is right before the first time we see him kind of like act off.
Yeah.
Which they go inside the pizza place, and as she's like bending over to pick something up, this guy who is standing there on his phone tries to peek up her skirt.
Yep.
And
real subtly too.
Which one that's weird because cheerleaders do like flips and stuff. You're not gonna be seeing what you're likely after. And two, how'd you just do that in public like that? Like, there's no way you're not gonna get caught, dude. You can't. You're gonna have this guy
weirdo energy.
You're gonna have this guy threaten to tear your freaking eyes out.
Am I gonna listen? Do I think that Rob should have done this? No. Will I say that I would that I necessarily would have stopped him? No.
Yeah, exactly. With this, my girlfriend pointed out that she mentioned that at her high school there was some teachers who were really strict about dress code. That they would dress code the cheerleaders, even though like Friday for like home games and stuff at my high school, and from what I say, it's a pretty common thing. Cheerleaders and football players would wear their uniforms at school all day. So after getting dress coded a bunch, the cheerleaders would have to wear sweatpants under. And this was in California in the fall where it's like fucking 85 degrees out.
Oh my God.
So the cheerleaders just had to be miserable at school because teachers were being weirdos.
Sexism.
Yeah.
Oh, we're told later on. So Becky actually seems to kind of like this. That Rob does this. Am I wrong? She's like,
I think she feels
she's
like
maybe not happy about it, but she
it.
seems flattered.
It's a like and this is one of those things. I feel like I have a better reference point than King of the Hill, but I can't think of it right now. There's one where Peggy gets tricked into smuggling in cocaine through a boggle timer hourglass to a guy who at one point when she's like teaching him boggle, he like jumps up and goes, "Don't you hurt her, she's teaching me how to read," at a prison guard. So that gets Peggy to go, "Oh, this guy actually cares about me." I'm sure there's another reference way that's better, but it's like that. Like he clearly is like concerned for her well-being, and a weirdo pervert who could have done even worse things than just like try and look up her skirt. And especially with being her first boyfriend, she's like, "Oh, this guy like actually cares about me."
Yeah, he's not just dating me because, because there's no one else around or because I'm easy or whatever. He actually, he likes me. He really likes me.
And he like explains it just like, "I'm sorry for that. It bothered me so much that he was doing something like that." And then they make out in the disgusting pizza kitchen.
Yeah, they're in the kitchen for some reason. Why do they go to the empty kitchen of this pizza place to have this conversation and then make out?
Why does the owner let them go? I guess they're regulars there.
The only thing I can think of is that he was like, "No," the guy is like, "No fighting in here. You want to fight, you take it outside." And I have to assume afterwards he was like, "You guys are gonna work off this, work this off." Like when you break a plate.
That'd be great.
Then we get so many shirtless guys.
Oh yeah, this was awesome. I loved this scene. Oh man.
This scene was a lot. Rob gets into a fight in the locker room with another football player who says that Becky is hot. Like,
yeah.
He doesn't even say it in like a super weird way. Like, he says it in a sexist way, but it's not like he was going way overboard with it or anything. and
Yeah.
Rob like slams him against the locker.
Yeah.
And goes kind of nuts with it. And everyone like, says, "Whoa, just take it easy, man." And he quits the team over this. He's like, "I don't
Yeah.
want to play with you guys anyway."
I just like I don't want to play with you losers anyway.
That was it, yeah.
I love him saying losers. Just the way the guy was like complimenting too, and he was his tone was both like mocking, and he had like the look on his face like he's trying to make this guy mad, but
Mm-hmm.
also at the same time like it felt like that was just the way this guy looks and talks. Like it's an
Yeah,
in
it felt
between of
at worse. Sorry.
just like an in between of that, especially when he said like, "Yeah, she's pretty good looking. She's been hiding it all these years, and now she's looking good."
Yeah. It felt like at worst he was trying to bust his balls a little bit.
Yeah,
But evidently does not know that guy well enough to do that. He's peering around in his hoodie at cheerleading practice and talks to Becky about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I quit the team." And he says like he blames the fight he had on her strutting around in that outfit. Her uniform.
yeah, and this is a really good like note of just like it's the start of the like controlling thing. Like
Yeah.
even if he's not immediately like, "Hey, you need to cover up," like he does try to encourage her like don't be on the team and stuff, but it's like the start of like trying to control things about her life that even though it's like a small thing and like it starts off as like, "Yeah, well, it's not a big deal for me to leave this thing. Like I like being with him. I can spend that time with him or I can focus on my
Exactly.
studies." Like it's something she could make those excuses for, but it is the start of something that will become worse.
It's the first concession you make.
Yeah.
And subsequently, the next scene, I really really endeared me to Jen's boyfriend Chris, who was like he's not been like a dickhead or anything up to this point, but he seemed like just kind of like a generic
Jock.
boyfriend dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a jock. But he's talking to Jen, and he tells her about this fight in the locker room, and he's saying how he's like concerned for Becky, and he asked Jen like, "Do you think that he would maybe hurt Becky?" And which like slightly emotionally intelligent jock teenage boy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know I'm not gonna say it like bad or good, but I know at like that age I don't think I would be able to recognize like a guy acting like that about his girlfriend as a "Hey, is she okay?" kind of thing. Like at like 17 and be like,
Yeah.
"That guy's kind of weird," and go back to what I was doing.
Yeah. I think it kind of speaks to like it seems like Jen and Chris have maybe been together a little while, and maybe he actually like knows Becky
I
somewhat.
think I would think so. Uh Especially because like it would be this is like way later, but it would be something that she would bring up and it as like a hurtful thing of like you guys don't like you don't know what it's like to have what we have kind of comment, and that would work even if it was like a fresher boyfriend or whatever, but that would kind of sting more knowing that they'd been together a while and the relation, and if he
Yeah.
has this kind of communication with her, it's not just the like, "Hey, we've been together since like a month or two."
Yeah. And to which Jen says that Becky is too smart to be abused. Which like
That's a
woof.
very it's hard because I feel like this is a subject matter where you gotta be on the nose because
Yeah.
it's just the reality of things, and that's the kind of stuff that they say. And one of the things I did like about that line is it's placed like almost perfectly at the 30-minute mark. So like right at the end of Act 1, we've seen him just fly off the handle twice because of stuff related to her, and then someone is showing concern, and the friend is dismissive of it because she's not like aware of the signs and everything right at the end of the first act, which
Yeah.
it's maybe there's other times I don't think they've like paced it as well on the previous movies. Like it's really like I applaud them for that. Like it works really well for the structure of film.
Huge agree. Good job, Adam Rockoff, with this one.
And after this, I wrote down a line that I loved. Have you been on cyber school lately?
What? I did not hear that.
Maybe I
Is that the Facebook equivalent?
I think it's the like Blackboard / Canvas / whatever
Oh,
to see
okay.
the grades and stuff. But that's what they're calling it. But it was very funny.
Really, that's really fucking funny. Yeah, the mom is on Blackboard and basically searching for any reason to kick her off of the cheerleading team. And she says, like, you missed one assignment in biology and you got a B on your last test. And I was having some flashbacks.
Oh.
Just the overachieving parent stuff. That is too real. It's too real.
See, my mom had resigned to Jory's playing video games, unfortunately. I would hear stories about that from like friends and stuff who had parents like that. It's like it sounds miserable. It's like I get it from a parent's perspective now, but still like you're stressing your kid out.
Exactly, yeah. It gives them a complex forever.
I like that immediately after hearing about like what was going on, even though she did say she's too smart to be with a guy who's abusive, she does go and investigate a little bit about him. Like she goes and talks to a girl from that she met at cheerleading camp, I believe.
Yeah, she has some friend at the private school that Rob went to before he transferred to this public school.
Yeah. To just kind of get like find out more about him.
Yeah. And they meet in the backyard from the wrong boy next door.
And this had a very like Law and Order vibe to this of like is everything right? Is he normal? And she's like, too normal actually. And just their back and forth reverse shot of going into how he like dated a girl and hit her, which that really like I like that they set that up here so that like that's another thing like you go back to with the opening, like that does add a level of like drama to it of hearing that this is something that he did in the past, and while he has been like obsessive and aggressive with other people, there's still like an escalation to that as well.
Yeah,
that kind of like having that opening kind of pulls the legs out from under it.
Yeah, much like how Rob pulled the girl's legs out from under the bed. And yeah, it's like there is something really interesting about how this is written, where I think it's here where it's mentioned that Rob's last victim, it was also her first relationship, and it's like, oh,
yeah,
he is like a predator.
Yeah, like he has like a
whether
type.
Yeah, whether he knows or understands that or not, like he is like choosing girls who don't know the signs yet.
Yeah, because like she was like a quiet, bookish type until her last year. Did they mention that she was also a cheerleader here?
Yes, I think.
Because yeah, so it's very he has like he's going after like a very vulnerable kind of girl who would be more like willing's not the right word, but likely to go along with the kind of stuff that like his behavior and put up with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she immediately tries to like talk to her about it.
Yeah. Jen confronts Becky with this information, which, good friend. And we also see a guy in the background shot who, every time I see him, he has mostly the same cool button-up on. And I'm like, God damn, I want that shirt. I just kept noticing him in the background. But Jen is like, did Rob ever tell you why he left his old school? And Becky's like, yeah, he said like the scholarship money ran out and it's just him and his dad, and private school is expensive. And Jen is like, no, he got really physically abusive with a girl and her parents sued him for assault, and he could have gone to jail, but he made some sort of deal. And in classic Degrassi fashion, we get a "you're just jealous." That is, Jory, let me tell you, that is a staple of a Degrassi girls argument. My favorite one is in season 1, where Manny becomes a cheerleader, and Emma says, "They're just using you, Manny," and she says, "No, you're just jealous." That was echoing through my head this entire conversation. But she says that she's jealous because Rob is way hotter than Chris, which is not true. I am not into men, but you are wrong.
Yeah.
You can think that your boyfriend is way hotter than anyone else. No one's going to object to that. Marge thinks that Homer is hot, but
yeah,
you are objectively wrong.
And I like the way that she turns around of like, yeah, you've always had boyfriends and been dating guys and stuff. Well, I've been the loser nerd who makes you feel better about yourself. And
Yeah.
I don't know the exact line because I was just shocked. I all caps typed out. They said the B word.
Yeah, I wrote down "calls her a bitch!" 3 exclamation points.
Yeah. Is this the first time we've gotten that from not like a bad guy?
Yeah, my pearls were being clutched, Jory. They were saying some stuff. Oof. Also in the background, amongst the walla going on, there's a moment where there's a slight pause in the conversation, and you can hear somebody in the background distinctly say the words "self-diagnosing."
What?
There were a couple of times where there was just like some really clear words in the background. I don't know why. I don't know where they got this.
Yeah, then we get a sharp tone change, which this next sequence is where like the next couple of scenes is where my brain was like, gears in my head were turning, where it's like, if I had not seen a bunch of these other movies, I would not be having these kinds of thoughts. But because I'm thinking of like, is this guy actually his dad? Is alcoholism like a real thing that he's dealing with? Like, is the dad acting like this because he's like a released convict who's in on a plan? Is his backstory bullshit? Which, if I didn't have that, like watching this, I was like, oh, he has a shitty dad, and that's why he has these anger issues. Like he has these behavioral problems because he has a bad home life.
Yeah, definitely. It's yeah. We really have been primed in a certain way, and maybe they did kind of play with that in a sense. Either, I don't think it was purposefully, but they certainly did. I gotta start a spreadsheet of how many villains there are in a Wrong movie and what the motivation is, so that we can keep we can get a pie chart at the end of like, this is how many times it was obsession, this is how many times there were multiple bad guys.
We just have a Charlie Kelly like strings going around everywhere, all the connecting threads of the characters' motivations and backgrounds.
We will link all these movies together.
Yeah, she goes goes to meet Rob at his house. I think that's just like why she's there.
Yeah.
The way he reacts makes it seem like she wasn't supposed to be there. Like she's like surprising him.
I think what it was is that she got there kind of early.
Oh yeah. And the dad is immediately just like, "Who the fuck are you? I don't give a fuck about you or my kid. What's going on? Get off my fucking property." Without the swears, but this is one of the movies that I think would be enhanced by being like a real movie with swears.
Agreed. My favorite line in here is where Becky says like, "Oh, I'm dating your son," and he says, "Yeah, that's your problem, isn't it?"
That's
Which,
that's
like,
what
yeah, it truly is.
That's what I say after my girlfriend introduces me as her boyfriend or partner. I just go, "Yeah, it's her problem." She doesn't find it as funny, but you know. I don't know if this is a script thing or an actor thing. The way that Rob reacts when he's like stressed out about it is also what kind of added to like the stuff in my head of like, are they actually like crime partners or something? Because understandably, like especially like he has a shitty abusive dad, he would be understandably like stressed out that his girlfriend is talking to this guy who sucks. But the way he delivers it sounds like or maybe that's what they're going for, like a controlling boyfriend kind of thing of like, you only talk to the people that I tell you can talk to.
Yeah. But I think we're also primed to maybe think that he's hiding something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets weirdly intense about it, and then they get into a whole conversation about like what Jen told her and what Chris said happened in the locker room. And Rob says that Chris doesn't respect Jen. You should hear the way he talks about her. Becky seems like kind of weirded out by this whole conversation, and she leaves considering breaking up with him.
Yeah.
And then he parks outside of her house all night, as you do. And the next morning, first of all, mom comes down and Becky's having breakfast. She has an orange juice carton next to her cereal with electrical tape over part of the carton. Could not get that sponsor, it seems.
See, I missed that one, but that does remind me. The first note I took is that the phone case is an Otterbox phone case at the beginning, which I thought was funny. They didn't like try and cover that up or anything. But I gotta correct you here. I hate to be that guy, but she doesn't have cereal. She's eating a plain bagel, but she's like nibbling and picking at it in a way that tells me like I don't want to actually have to eat a bunch of bagels for this movie. But I was reading it as like she just has those like weird eating tics that all of us have. I know people who naturally eat bagels like that, but
yeah, I do remember my boyfriend Forrest saying, like, why is she holding that bagel like she's never eaten one in her life?
Yeah. And it's plain too. It's like a just completely dry. But they go outside and there's roses on the car, which from a distance at first is like, is that a ribbon? Is mom surprising her with a car?
Okay, that's what I thought. It was a ribbon too. I was like, did the boyfriend buy her a car? What is happening?
That's what my girlfriend thought. And it's like, she's like, if I was in high school, my boyfriend bought me a car, I would be terrified.
Yeah, huge agree. But yeah, no, roses and an apology card, and then Rob pops out from behind a tree like Michael Myers and says that he was up all night and he felt so bad about being a huge asshole to her. And then they have a conversation about Rob's backstory, where he says that his mom left because she was being abused by his father. And before she left, she was an alcoholic. He talks about that, and Becky starts to say something, and he says, "I'm an alcoholic too." Like so suddenly and interrupting. I'm like, okay, man, sure. He says that he's been sober for years, and started drinking young. He really, like, I kind of like this because I believe it. Like, I believe his sad backstory, and I would believe that would leave him kind of fucked up. Not that it's an actual excuse, but I could see why he is like that. And similarly, in a couple of scenes, we're going to get some backstory on Becky's mom, and I was like, oh, suddenly it kind of makes sense a little bit that Becky is maybe clinging to this relationship.
Yeah. And see, when he brought that up, just because of, like I said, I felt like maybe he's lying about this. I don't know if this is a like. By the end of the movie, it's like, yeah, they're not. It's not the early Wrong franchise goofy twist plan plots. But I was like, is he lying about this so he can get away with like his aggressive behavior? Is he trying to gain sympathy? What's going on?
I mean, like, those two points, I think, are both true. He is, in a lot of ways, trying to excuse his behavior and get away with something.
Yeah. As I say, to my knowledge, it wasn't this bad, but I did hear similar conversations like this of a family member with a shitty boyfriend, and she was excusing it. It's like, he's bipolar, he can't help being mad at me for this. While like her mom was like, you shouldn't let him talk to you like that. Like, it's a very like real thing that happens to hundreds of thousands of teenagers.
And I will briefly say, including me. I'm not going to get into this, but my first girlfriend was abusive to me, and she also had a sad parent backstory. And you make the excuses. Because you care about them, because you know them so well. And it's hard.
Yeah.
Like, because, Jen says Becky's too smart to be abused. You say to yourself, I'm too smart to be abused. I would know. And that's the end of me making this episode awkward.
No, it's all right.
But it is so, honestly, this movie resonated in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good movie, but I thought that they had something cooking here for that reason.
And it's like it's and to like how common of a thing it is. It's like if a man who grew up in South Dakota, a very like conservative heteronormative state where I was mostly playing video games and not acknowledging the world around me, can secondhand go, I overheard stuff exactly like this happen. Shows how common of a thing it is and why it's ripe for what the idea of like a Lifetime movie is to like clue moms into something that they'd be too busy or like involved with, or the kids are at school most of the day and the kids, especially at this age, aren't going to tell them everything, like stuff that they might be missing out and the signs that might be there that something is wrong.
And that fear-mongering maybe isn't even actually fear-mongering. I think that is actually a good thing to put forward. So thank you, Lifetime.
Yeah,
this one time.
This one is not like really sensationalist in the issue it's trying to put a light on for like 99% of this.
Yep,
say
we will get to that.
The opening and the ending are a bit, but not the bulk of the movie.
Yeah.
I was confused at first after this because he takes the flowers, they go inside so she can put them in a jar. Like, is this before school? Is this a weekend? Why aren't they just heading to school? Why'd they go inside the house to have a sit down talk?
I was also very confused by the timeline here.
But Jen and Becky have another conversation about like, hey, this guy is not good. He's unpredictable. He's acting violent. Like you gotta be done with him. And she's just like, no. He's good. He's an alcoholic, which I don't like that. I mean, from a personal perspective, it feels bad that immediately she's just like telling everyone that when
Yeah.
it feels vaguely in like a vote of confidence way, but also she's just trying to be like, no, he like deals with a lot. Like you need to be nicer to him. Like you got to be
Yeah,
lighter
exactly.
on him.
I get it, but I would also maybe be a little upset if I was Rob.
Yeah. And we get a confrontation of Rob with his dad where he's just like, you don't fucking talk to my girlfriend like that. And and he's like, you're a tough guy, why don't you leave like your mom did or drink a bunch because you're not a real tough guy. I'm a cool, tough dad. And just kind of ends with him being like, get out of my face, and then splitting up, which I would have loved if Dad was the first kill.
Yeah, honestly, it would kind of make sense too. But also, Jory, was it just me or was the sexual tension here palpable between these two actors?
It definitely was.
It was distracting how much it really seemed like these two men were about to kiss.
It had some like the dad isn't as like buff or fit as the kid as Rob,
Yeah.
I assume, but it did have like kind of some Bara energy there.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And they take that energy and cut to him shirtless, staring at the ground, doing curls, looking at photos of his girlfriend. And I'm like, man, you couldn't get tape to put him on a wall or something to make this look less awkward.
Is this where they intercut the footage of Vivica doing the cheer instruction again?
I can't remember. I think that might have been later.
Okay. Regardless. Very awkward. And then we get a conversation with Mom.
Yeah.
Because Jen turned around from this conversation with Becky and said, I'm gonna tell her mom because something is wrong here and like a grown-up needs to step in.
Yeah.
And Mom says that Jen called her and was concerned, and she tells her, like, you know, your dad, I've told you that he died in a drunk driving accident. So she mentions that Rob is an alcoholic, and that, which I do not think would bring Mom to your side here.
No, that would, I think that would make Mom not even ignoring what she brings up, but that would make her like way more concerned.
Yeah, the immediate thing I said was all the more reason for you to not date him.
Yeah.
And so she says that I told you that your father died in a like drunk driving related accident. And there was a minute where I thought she was about to say that Rob was the other driver.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be a twist of all twists here.
Yeah.
But she says, like, your dad was an alcoholic too. It wasn't something that like, you know, you were really old enough to understand. But there was one time where he was drunk and he came home and we had a fight, and he took one of our plates, one of our like good china plates, which I found that to be like a very interesting thing to say. That felt very realistic to mention, like, it was a good plate too.
And I don't know if it was the like writing or director's intent, I actually, honestly, I shouldn't even discredit them by saying they actually some of this. Her specifying that shows that it's like a stark memory. Like it's not
Yeah.
like the daughter dropped a bowl or something when she was young, helping out the dishes, and it broke, and she was scared, and mom was like, no, it's okay. Like that's just whatever. But by knowing what plate shows, that's like it's something that is stuck in her mind that she remembers that detail.
Yeah. And she says, you know, I told you that I got this scar on my forehead from like falling off my bike when I was a kid or something. But what happened was that your father smashed that plate against the wall, and part of that plate flew at my face and cut my head. And like that was something that I just kind of like forgave him for, or just like sucked it up. I was like, they're kind of fucking going off. There's something here.
Yeah, and that's another thing with how it wasn't like a completely directed like violent like it's violent abuse paper, but it wasn't like him like attacking her directly with the plate. Like through his anger and the things they did, she still got hurt, and even if it wasn't his intent, it was the abusive behavior that led to that.
Exactly.
And
Like
it's
the
also
story
something
has such a distinct point.
that she would also be like make excuses in her head of like, oh, he wasn't trying to hurt me, it's just something that happened as a result of our fight. Like, and the kind of things that and the way that Becky started off like after it got serious is like, but dad was always like great with me. It's like she's like, it has that thing of like, yeah, well, you don't see everything, and your friends and people will see you guys together and think you're happy, but you're actually, it's bad underneath of what's going on.
Yeah. And honestly, this is the point where I turned around on the actress, where I was like, okay, so it was just the wrong crush. Retracted.
Yeah.
Sorry to the actress.
It's just she was stuck playing like an evil doesn't mean mom in that one. Which interesting that both these movies I think about deal with alcoholism, because that was what that one was about, was the girl and her friend drinking a bunch as when they were slightly younger and the friend dying.
True. And then Becky's or her mom is like, I would like to meet Rob at some point, and Becky's like, yeah, he's talked about how he wants to meet you. And so they go to the bar from The Wrong Teacher. And Mom, Rob, and Becky have dinner together.
At a very
and
tiny
Mom,
table.
Very tiny table. And Mom asks him about college, and he gets weird and excuses himself.
Yeah. It's I said this, which is just more of in the context of how quick it happened. If I if I sat down and was like, "Hey, I'm your daughter's boyfriend. Hey, nice to meet you," and it's be like, "So what's your college and life plans, huh?" I'd be, oh shit.
I was saying that maybe he got really upset because he wants to go to a trade school and nobody respects it.
He just like immediately steps off, and then like the dinner's over basically.
Yeah, he like comes back at some point and he's like sorry, and that's kind of the end of the scene.
Yeah.
Jen's birthday.
Yeah, they're having like have a big party. He's like trying to get her. I was like, nah, just me and us. Let's not worry about that. She's like, no, it's my best friend's birthday. You can come with me for this. Come on.
Yeah, like do one fucking thing for me. At the background of Jen's birthday, there is a gigantic American flag. Did you see this?
Yeah, there's also a "Don't Tread on Me" flag in the background.
Oh no, not the Gadsden.
I in the lore of the world, even though these probably exist in California, it just sounds weird to say they're going to one in California. This is like a VFW or like Elks Lodge, like some kind of like veteran clubhouse type place that they're probably at.
That makes sense.
That's what some like in high school. I know some people would have like those places rented out for like their birthday party, or that's where a lot of like shows and stuff I'd go to, were at those kinds of places where it was pretty cheap to rent the space to have like an event there. So you want to have like a big party for your kid. It's a good place to do it for less money than you would think. And it's not your house. So you don't have to worry about shit getting broken.
Yeah. Hey, very interesting. That makes sense to me. And first of all, I thought it was very cute when they were singing happy birthday to her, and she kind of had like her boyfriend on one side and Becky on the other.
Yeah.
At this party, some guy pours a flask into a punch bowl, which like that is not enough alcohol per liquid volume to get anyone drunk. We looked it up, and a flask holds like 4 to 5 shots.
That's not enough for a punch bowl.
I don't think anyone will even taste it.
Probably not. Maybe they'll get like the lightest buzz possible.
But he and Rob and Becky have a fight, or like start to have a fight. He's like, "I want to go home" or something like that. He starts being a little asshole
because he sees her like dancing with another guy, and it's the most like light-hearted dancing too. Like,
yeah,
it's like twirling around. It's like I don't know if ironic's the right word, but it's you're dancing as teenagers and you're being goofy on purpose and replicating like goofy like over the top dancing couples dancing you see on TV and cartoons.
Yeah. Just it's having some fun.
Yeah, it's not like they're like bumping and grinding on each other.
Exactly. But he is big mad about it, and he goes and has some punch, even though I think he saw somebody pour alcohol into it.
I think the way they have a conversation, because she's like, no, she says like, no, your alcoholism kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which implies that they all know that they're getting fucked up at this party.
Yeah. So she says like, you shouldn't drink. And he says, what are you, my mother? And she says, well, no, I wouldn't walk out on you. And he smacks her in the middle of this party.
Yeah.
Which like, yeah, that is one where if I am Jen, I am calling mom about that one. Like, because you know Becky's saying nothing.
You call mom. You call Coach Vivica.
Yep.
You probably also tell like. Honestly, you could call the cops even. Yeah. At this point, like
he is 37, so
yeah.
Also, in the background of this conversation, somebody goes, ooh, ooh.
I didn't notice that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was the other walla that I distinctly heard. Bizarre tonal choice.
Yeah. Which after she like runs from him, and he's like trying to be like, no, it won't happen again. It's bad. And thankfully she's like, no, we're done. Get away from me. That's too far. It's not okay. We're done. Stay away from me forever. Which he's lucky that she's not threatening to like press charges, call the police or anything about it.
But he does say that she like starts to consider calling the police or somebody. Yeah. And he says like, we both know that you're not going to call the cops, because if you call the cops, you're going to go down for underage drinking too, and you're going to be off the cheer team. Yeah. And also, please note that they are in the stairwell from the climax of The Wrong Teacher.
They were.
At the other staircase, there's definitely a blonde woman going, "Oh, Chris, it's so wonderful that you showed up. Me, your southern ponytail teacher."
And this one also happened like right at the hour mark, like end of Act 2. Like the stakes are even higher now. Like we know that he's the bad guy. We've seen him act out so many times, and he's crossed the line with her, so she's done with him. That's gonna put him over the edge.
Yeah, it's true. Huge ups here. So Jen brings Becky to meet Rob's last victim. I don't remember her name, but I was pausing because I thought you might know.
Nope, unfortunately, I'm terrible with names. That's fine. my One Piece podcast, we covered a new show, like all 20 some episodes, and I knew like the main cast. Everyone else, I was like, I don't know their names.
That's why I write down names when the second that they say them in these movies, because they're all just generic names.
I need to start doing that because also my job is going to between like 7 different stores, and there's people who it's been like 3 months since I started doing this. I still don't know their names because they don't wear name tags, and because they don't wear name tags, I forgot after they told me.
Yep. Ain't that just the way?
If you're listening to this, I apologize.
So we talked to the last victim, and she like really empathizes with Becky. Like, she is really somebody that, you know, Becky kind of wrote off Jen as being jealous or whatever, Degrassi style. Yeah. And she kind of wrote off her mom as being like, well, that could never happen to me, obviously. Yeah. But
Mom's
I
being
think
overprotective.
Exactly. I think this girl is the first one that like really gets through to her because she is like, I was you. And I think because stuff has escalated too.
Yeah.
But she like
it has a like an, I don't know if unbiased is the right word, but like someone who doesn't have like an emotional connection to you. Like she could write off mom as being overbearing, too protective, whatever, and her friend being like jealous, like, oh, you're taking my friend away, or in her mind, ooh, your boyfriend is hotter than my boyfriend, kind of thing. But this is someone she's never met, never interacted with, who's telling her the same thing, which makes
exactly,
it like,
yeah.
Sometimes you need that person from outside of your scope to kind of speak in.
Yeah, and she says like, he also, you know, laid hands on me, and I took him back many times when I shouldn't have, and he was my first boyfriend too. Like, I completely empathize and understand where you're at, and it sucks. And he broke into my house, but I escaped, and my parents threatened to sue him for harassment, but apparently not assault. She's basically just like, look out. Is that the moral of the story?
Yeah. It's unfortunate because like the real like thing would be to go, yeah, you gotta go to the cops. Yeah. He hit you. Like, not to go into too much detail about something, but I had to call emergency services for a friend after like an accident and something, and they were like, we're in a situation like they needed to get the help after what happened, and they had like weed out and stuff because right before they were rolling a joint. And cops came as part of the emergency services, and I wasn't there, but I got a relay from the roommate of like, yeah, the cops were like, we're just wanting to make sure they're safe. We're not going to worry about that. Don't worry, we're not going to charge her for anything. And she didn't get charged. So
hey,
like,
that's good.
That would be like a thing here of like, hey, even if he's gonna say like that, you both of you were drinking, you got to push through it because realistically, what he did to you is more important and more dangerous than what you guys were doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, this is also not an endorsement of the police because there's probably plenty of times where that exact situation has happened and people got extra fucked over. But just as an aside of like a good thing that has happened for someone in a bad situation where it could have gotten worse.
Yeah. And something, you know, that would work better for somebody in a Lifetime movie, probably.
Yeah.
We get more working out and more Vivica dancing here. And then the last victim is, like, cleaning up at her job. She's, like, the last one there. And Rob comes in and chloroforms her. And we later find out that she is missing.
Yeah, that was one that shows up. I was like, how long has it been? Because it says still missing, which is like,
yeah,
it's been a couple days since then. Which the passage of time in this is unclear. It does help because I did keep saying like, you guys have been dating for 3 days as joke, but my girlfriend always go, well, yeah, that's how high school is. I was like, yes, it is. That is true.
It is true.
But it does still feel like goofy fast without being able to tell like how much time has passed.
Maybe it's it's she's a victim of the 24-hour news cycle where it's like they've put out 3 articles today about how she's still missing.
Honestly, that's not a bad read.
Vivica vaguely tries to interfere and help Becky.
Yeah.
Not much is really comes out of that situation. Vivica seems a bit more suspicious about it. But Becky doesn't want to go to the cops about the last girl being missing.
Yeah, this is something like you gotta you have those connections, and I do think that when they eventually do go, it does have the kind of response I'd expect from the police, but
yep,
it's you gotta at least try that route, unfortunately, even if they're not gonna be helpful, especially as like a teenager. Like you don't have like much routes to go.
No, you don't. It's like a teacher or the cops.
Yeah.
Teacher, parent, cops, that's it. Then Rob threatens her. I don't remember this much. I just have Rob threatens her down.
Yeah, because she like she's in her car and he's like, "Hey, you gotta take me back." She's like, "No, you hit me. Why would I do that?" And he's like, "You're throwing away everything that we had together."
Yeah, he's. This is where he just turns into every other wrong.
Yeah.
And where I kind of like rolled my eyes at the last like 20 minutes of this movie.
Yeah. They go to the police, who are just like, "Well, it's an ongoing investigation. I can't tell you everything or who's being investigated, what they're being investigated for, whatever, but information like this can be helpful sometimes." It's like, thanks.
Yeah. And he tells him basically don't bother with a restraining order.
Yeah, that's bad advice, I think. I mean, a restraining order can only do so much, but I don't know. That's just saying, like, we're not going to do anything for you, but just say that.
Yeah. Rob is at her house with a knife. Like, he sneaks into her unlocked house.
Yeah, he's just, like, stalking around. He grabs a picture of what I think is supposed to be, like, her mom's work, so he can get the info to call her, but not really the payoff you get about you want from him sneaking around the house.
Yeah. And also, this is the therapist's office from, I think it's The Wrong Stepmother. It might be The Wrong Boy Next Door. It's one of those ones. Just saying.
Yeah, this is what I alluded to earlier, where he calls her work and it's like, "Hey, it's the vice principal. Something happened to Becky. You gotta come get her right now. I can't give you more details over the phone, but we just thought it'd be important to tell you about it right now." And she goes, "Yes, this is the vice principal, who I immediately believe I'll be on my way," even though he's calling from his iPhone. That was what was like, the way he talks is just so, he has just a specific like accent, not the word, but the way he talks is like, I would place him immediately.
Yeah. Okay, Jory, imagine that you are you were as stupid as this mother in this moment. If you had the vice principal call you that something has happened to your daughter, it's nothing serious or life-threatening, but you should get down here, what do you think happened?
I am struggling to come up with something that would get a response to, like, I gotta leave work to take care of this. Without anything about the kid, but maybe like a rolled ankle or something, or like an injury that they don't know if they could. It doesn't seem serious, but it also is like keeping them from doing work. You gotta pick up the kid, but I don't. I know there is intentionally vague, but like I don't know what I could like. What would make sense in my head for that?
I went right to she shit herself.
Honestly, that's not a bad one. that would line up. It's a way so no one overhears what happened to save the embarrassment.
Exactly.
And yeah, that goes along with like being sick too. That like it's like on top of feeling ill, so she can't really be the one to contact mom either.
Yeah, exactly. that's I guess where my brain would go in that moment, but like it is so bizarre.
And
then Rob chloroforms her.
Yeah, and chloroforms her, kidnaps her, has her tied up in the car, and then this is when I'm like, oh, there's like 5 minutes of the movie left. How?
The second he chloroformed her, I was like, there is not much of this movie left. I know that we are about to we are entering the, oh fuck, I ran up against the I ran up against the time of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob drives the car to school and like lures Becky to the car.
She's like, I think that's my mom's car, when she's staying there with Vivica in like the gym doorway.
Yeah. She goes over and Rob is like, fucking get in the car or I'll kill her. And he says that he's going to kill everyone who poisoned her against him. And then Becky's like, you know, I still value our relationship. You know, I still have that flower that you gave me. It's right here in my purse. And she whips out the pepper spray.
Yeah!
And fucking maces him.
I'm cheering.
He stumbles out of the car, closes the door with his elbow, and then Vivica maces him. He turns around and Vivica's got pepper spray too.
Yeah, and I go, you just messed with the wrong cheerleader. And then 0.5 seconds, Vivica goes, you messed with the wrong cheerleader, and I cheer.
Yep, you gotta cheer at that point. It's cheer worthy.
It's great.
Like, it's at a low angle too. It's like from his perspective.
Yeah,
I feel like Vivica has just maced me.
Yeah, if only we were so lucky.
Oh, I forgot this bit. So Rob gets arrested. He has like pink makeup all over his eyes.
It's like pink eyeshadow.
And the detective arresting him, he was the one that we spoke to at the police station before. Yeah. And he says, you're going away for a long time. I have a daughter who's an honor roll student and a cheerleader.
Yeah, he's no disrespect to this guy. I think he might be one of the worst actors we've had in one of these movies.
Yeah.
But I like I like the way he was like, yeah, I'm glad to get trash like you out of the streets. You know, I got a daughter in high school. I don't want you going anywhere near her. Yeah, she's an honor roll student and a cheerleader. It's just like, why are you detailing your daughter to this guy?
And hey, this is a film where the girl has a best friend and she retains the best friend. Yeah. By the end of the movie. The best friend isn't killed or betrays her or some shit. The best friend is right there with mom.
Yeah, best friend didn't get hurt at all, like in the Wrong Friend.
Yeah. And Becky, or Vivica tells Becky, like, yeah, Jen told me that it was kind of weird for your mom to come and pick you up. And that's why I came back and maced that guy. And then Becky says that he messed with the wrong cheerleader. A line so nice they said it twice.
Yeah.
And then the movie just ends.
Yeah, we got a vague resolution. I like this as at least we saw him like getting arrested and taken away, and not a
exactly
pepper sprayed and then it fades to black, or we didn't get a fucking unless there's a cut on Lifetime Movie Club where we see him in jail, like planning his escape to find another high school girl to have her first boyfriend who's an honor roll student and a cheerleader.
Yeah. Yep. It's a pretty clean ending. It's not like, it's not a big ending. We've had worse endings, we have better endings, but this one is like it does wrap up decently.
Yeah.
Jory, tell me about the thrills in this one.
Oh, it was plenty thrilling. You have just like even though like the opening of the movie, because they almost contractually obligated to do that, you see the like relationship slowly starting to turn as it goes along, and we learn more about him and how he starts acting more and more aggressive and everything, and builds up to a point where we get to see him get pepper sprayed. It's awesome.
Yeah, huge agree. I thought this one was very thrilling. It has kind of a creeping dread. The pepper spray it makes up for the fact that they just did the same thing they always do in the third act. Gothic horror themes.
I think Obsession is pretty like gothic horror theme, right?
Yeah, and like abuse, the sort of control that comes with it, and subtle homoeroticism. Boy. Boy on boy.
I think that sequence in the gym locker room with him and the other football players might be the most David Dakota subtle homoerotic scene that he has put in one of these movies.
Yeah, right down to the fact that none of those boys can act.
I'm struggling to think of another movie in this franchise where we've had that many shirtless young guys around each other and like bumping up against each other.
I don't think we have.
And, I don't think anything will top the Killer Eye, where the two bros, their girlfriends won't have sex with them, so they strip down to their underwear and get into bed together to hang out and watch TV.
Just guys being dudes.
Yeah, exactly.
Jory, how many cheerleaders do you give this out of 5?
2.5 to 3. It didn't have as like high of the wild highs we've gotten in some of these movies, but it is, especially compared to the rest of these ones, a like pretty competently made movie with like a through line that is good and isn't overly sensational or like misguided for the most part. Like it fills that niche of like bringing awareness to this thing through like you mentioned earlier, you said after school special kind of thing with this, and it works pretty well. Like, I think if I was going to tell someone to watch one of these and they weren't in it for the kind of reasons we are, this is one I could point to and be like, it's pretty normal. Like,
yeah, this is like a film you can watch.
Yeah, like even with like the shirtless dudes in the locker room, I don't think people who aren't in the know would find anything strange about that or find anything like to bring up about that, like we're primed to do.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so I'm gonna start by giving this movie 4 cheerleaders out of 5, but I'm then going to knock down half a star for it being the worst acted wrong movie. I stand by that.
That's fair.
And then I'm gonna knock down another half star for having just the standard wrong ending and the cold opening that kind of ruins the rest of the film in a lot of ways. So I give it a 3 cheerleader out of 5. Final thoughts.
If this is the first of 3 cheer themed wrong movies so far. If this is what they start off with, I'm definitely looking forward to the Wrong Cheerleader coach and the Wrong Cheer captain even more.
Yep, both Adam Rockoff ones as well.
They are, and it's kind of nice that the last like few that we have gotten haven't been like the evil plan plot, like. Because I know it's kind of got away from that for a little bit and then went back to it with The Wrong Boy Next Door, And then we're back to just like there's a lifetime bad guy in the movie, and he acts weird, and he's obsessed with our main character, or she's obsessed with our main character. And
you know what I think it
that's
might
nice.
be? Yeah. I think it might be Adam Rockoff.
That would make
Because
sense.
many of the first ones were written by either Matthew Jason Walsh or Robert Dean Klein. And it seems like they like the like twist second villain kind of thing. And it seems like Adam Rockoff, I know that he actually wrote like I don't know if it's a textbook or just like a analytical nonfiction book about the slasher genre, and I have to assume that he is like a big slasher fan.
That
And
makes
these
sense.
are a little bit like slasher movies in a way.
Oh yeah, he's definitely like coming off of that, because he wrote the I Spit on Your Grave remake.
Yep, that makes sense.
So he's definitely like he knows his stuff, and he does write these like that, like a shaved off of all the like exploitation, like violence and stuff. Like you do have these same kind of beats in those movies where it's like an obsessive stalker who's stabbing all the high schoolers or something.
Yeah. Also, for listeners, Adam Rockoff's slasher analysis book is called Going to Pieces, The Rise and Fall of the Slasher Film 1978 to 1986. So he also wrote a book called The Horror of It All, One Moviegoer's Love Affair with Masked Maniacs, Frightened Virgins, and the Living Dead. Is that Adam, is that your autobiography? Yeah, I thought this one was really interesting. Yeah, like you said, not the highest highs, not the lowest lows. I think it is somehow both a middle of the road wrong movie, but a kind of top tier Lifetime movie for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is either my favorite or like my second favorite behind The Wrong Student.
I could definitely agree with that. I like that we're also getting into territory of where the wrong blank is like she's the cheerleader in the wrong situation, or like she was in the wrong place at the wrong time kind of thing. Like the wrong is the descriptor for that kind of way, instead of the cheerleader as the bad guy. Which I was still primed to think, which is I'm still primed to think for how do you have the wrong house sitter, which that one's a little more obvious. You get an obsessive weirdo who is hired to watch over your house. But I want it to be more silly.
Yeah, you'd agree. Also, I cannot believe that we are not quite halfway through this series yet. That is bonkers to me.
Yeah, there's only been one release this year. Last year had two. So maybe we'll maybe we'll get another one in the next couple of months to cap it off at 30.
It seems like they tend to release them at like the beginning of the year and then the middle of the year.
Yeah.
So it might be in a couple of months we're going to get The Wrong Podcaster after all these years.
And it does this is number 13. I don't even ignoring like gaps in recording aside, it doesn't feel like we've sat through 13 movies.
Huge agree.
Like
I've been a year.
Yeah, like I've sat through all of the One Piece movies for like Patreon stuff for that podcast, and getting towards the end of it, I was like, oh, I have watched a lot of One Piece movies, which feels silly to say in a series where I've also watched 1,000 episodes of a television show. But this doesn't feel like I've sat through 13 of the. Maybe there's like maybe that's the trick, because they're so formulaic that it doesn't feel like I've accomplished 13 movies.
No, I do agree because like
positive and negative. I'm not even gonna say negative. Like positive that it didn't seem like it's a feat. Like saying you watch like someone going, I've watched all of Star Wars. Like holy shit, that's 9 fucking movies. You watched all of that in a weekend. If I sat through 13 of these in a weekend, it'd be like, yeah, it was on.
Yeah, just had it in the background or whatever.
Yeah.
They're all kind of the same movie, so just kind of mix and match.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like coming from like We See Saw, Very Normal Activities, the whole Video Victims oeuvre. It's like those. You know what I think it is? I think that there is no connecting fiber in these. Like,
yeah,
I'm not following characters between these movies, so it doesn't feel like I'm like engaging with one long story. Like Saw is like a soap opera where like you have these characters that go throughout the entire thing and you track their weird character arcs and stuff. And with Paranormal Activity, you have these couple of characters that you keep coming back to over and over again, even when it doesn't make any fucking sense. Sorry, I kind of hate Paranormal Activity now, but this one, it's just like Vivica is our anchor, and Vivica is a different person every time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And honestly,
Jory?
by 2019, 13 in, like I started in 2016. By then, we've already had 2 like Avengers movies. So they're in like the next phase of Avengers. This is 2019. That's Endgame. Like
Yeah.
there is a voice of reason in them going, we don't need to complicate things like that. Like, it could be very easily turned into, like, I haven't watched any, and not even, this isn't even going to say it's, like, a negative thing. They could easily turn this into, like, a Columbo type thing where Vivica stumbles across all these similar situations that the through line is her recurring character and how she solves these wrong things that are going on in people's lives. But they don't.
They don't, and I kind of commend them for that.
Yeah.
I like that you can pick up literally any wrong movie and be like, this can be your first wrong movie. I saw some people on Letterboxd who are clearly like watching them out of order, like out of release order, and there's a part of me that's like, why? Why would you do that? My little autistic, like, I love sort, I love to arbitrarily sort type of brain.
Yeah.
But it's like there is no reason to watch them in any specific order. Just watch whatever ones sound fun to you. If it sounds fun, it probably is going to be a fun one. That's kind of where I'm at with this series right now.
Absolutely.
So, Jory, where can people find you online?
You can find me online anywhere Jories are found at No I'm Jory, except for Blue Sky, which is jory.zone. You can see posts about my dog. See posts about video games. You can see I don't know if I make a doodle, I'll post it on there. That's the kind of all stuff in my brain too. No Chat GPT, Claude, Gemini to make it for me. It's all dumb shit from my idiot brain.
They're calling him the most based man on earth.
You can find me on another podcast. I was about to say the wrong podcast, because I was going.
You can.
You can find me on that podcast, but I'm so used to plugging that at the end of the podcast instead of other one. We are watching One Piece. As of recording, One Piece is back from break. Instead of killing their animators, putting out 50 obscenely well animated episodes a year, they've cut it down to 26, and they're still probably horribly overworked, but at least some of the load is taken off of them.
That's good.
It's every week. Episodes usually go up on Mondays. If you're not interested in One Piece, but you're like, hey, What about a shorter series that we covered all of the Ernest films, which that felt like a whole ordeal by the end of it. I'll say honestly by the fifth one I was like, I'm done. But we had to keep going. They didn't get any better. Or we just wrapped up talking about Samurai Flamenco, which is an original show, not based off a manga or light novel or anything, that is about a himbo who decides to carry out his dream of being a Sentai superhero. And it's the comedy that comes from that. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Blue Sky at Punkdyke, Punkdyke. Can't believe nobody had that at, and can't believe that having that at the beginning of the film ruined the dramatic tension of the rest of the film. You can find the show on Blue Sky at wrongpodcast.blueski.app or whatever it is on Blue Sky.
If you look up Wrong Podcast, it'll take you right to us.
Yeah, exactly. Just remember, Wrong Podcast, right show. Just remember that one. Or don't, I don't know. And thank you to the Moonshot Network. Listen to another podcast on the network. How about Unwise Girls, where Jacqueline and Jane read through all of Rick Riordan's oeuvre, the Percy Jackson series, and there's some others too, but I kind of outgrew them by the time Percy Jackson ended, so I don't know them.
Yeah, I was like, we're like a couple years above when those were. We got the bad magical series for our childhood.
Percy Jackson was like right there for me, luckily. I really love those ones because I was a Greek mythology kid.
Ooh.
But until next time, I guess you just listened to the Wrong Podcast. I guess I just did the wrong outro tape.
Hey, Jane.
Hey, Jacqueline.
Do you think the 2011 Egyptian revolution was caused by the chaos god Apophis?
I think that's...
How about the American Civil War and its ties to the Greco-Roman conflict?
I think that's underselling the economic concern of slavery.
Do you think centaurs just piss where they stand?
Jacqueline, no offense, but I think there's something deeply wrong with you.
It's not me, it's actually Rick Riordan, author of the Percy Jackson series.
So you're saying that if you do a deep analysis of this incredibly popular and purportedly progressive, though overall well-intentioned author's works, you can uncover the deep rot behind American liberalism and capitalism as a whole?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we could do a podcast about that.
And we can make sure to take time each episode to find the incontrovertible proof that his characters are not cishet, because Rick Riordan is not the boss of us.
Listen to Unwise Girls every Friday, brought to you by the Moonshot Network.
4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
Andrew, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Marn. So I'm playing through an alternate reality game, and there's a number station puzzle that we just can't solve.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I tried everything else, and I figured that the best way to solve it would be to get into its head and think like a number station. I've been saying numbers into microphones for hours.
Okay, well, I think I have a better idea.
What's that?
You could just listen to the Argonauts podcast. Every 2 weeks, I could let you know the ins and outs of old args and give you a deep dive on how they were created.
Do you think we could have a nuanced discussion about game-making philosophy and how cultures around games have changed as well?
Yeah, and you can definitely continue to fail to solve old args along the way.
Well, it sure would be cool if that was a podcast you could find among with a bunch of other great shows over on the Moonshot Network.
You know, it sure would.
Well, cool. Thanks for the invite. Anyways, I'm going to get back to this, though. 23, 19.
Okay,